Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having a Sagittarius Sun and Capricorn Mercury in a natal chart. Now, I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. What I'm talking about is having that Sun-Mercury combination in your chart, having a Sagittarius Sun and Capricorn Mercury in your chart. First off, well, the basic character, which is the Sun. In this case, the Sun being in Sagittarius can be very expansive, optimistic, exuberant, jovial, blunt, yet self-righteous. Now, on the communication side of things, which is Mercury, in this case, Mercury being in Capricorn, can be actually more disciplined, structured, consistent, serious, planned, and regimented. A person needs to guard against becoming overtly, let's say, despondent, dejected, or melancholy, despite having, the Sagittarius Sun, Sun being the basic fundamental character of the person. The Capricorn Mercury, you know, can indicate the person it may be a little bit more depressive in terms of their thinking than the typical Sagittarius Sun. Now, the thing too is the Sun in astrology is connected with our basic wants. And Sagittarius Sun often wants to explore, expand horizons, and be that perpetual learner. Capricorn Mercury may often talk about the career, information technology, ambitions, responsibilities, trying to attain success. The true self, which is the Sun, and the Sun in this case being in Sagittarius, can be enthusiastic, jovial, and philosophical. Now, thinking, which is Mercury, and Mercury in this case being in Capricorn, can be introspective, premeditative, but yet pessimistic and negative. The combination, of as far as how this energy may integrate, well, the fundamental character, again, which is the Sun, in this case, the Sun being in Sagittarius, can be philosophical, but the mind, which is Mercury, may be more, intransigent and inflexible, which is Capricorn in their thinking. The thinking may be orthodox to some degree, more conventional. And with the Sun, in this case, when you have, Sagittarius Sun and Capricorn Mercury, naturally the Sun is positive before Mercury. And that the person may often act, which is the Sun, prior to thinking, which is Mercury. But keep in mind, Mercury and Capricorn, the thinking still can be premeditative, so that helps balance that out a little bit as far as the acting before thinking goes, because Capricorn Mercury can be very premeditative. I'd say that Capricorn, is the sign most connected with planning and premeditation. Now, this may shine the light, which is the Sun, so to speak, on communication, which is Mercury ability, if there is a conjunction between these energies, between these planets. Now, a conjunction in astrology is 0 degrees, and I use a 10-degree orb if at least one personal planet is involved. In this case, of course, you have 2 personal planets in the aspect, the Sun and Mercury. Now, let's say if the Sagittarius Sun is at 27 degrees and the Capricorn Mercury is at 3 degrees, that would form a conjunction aspect, that they would be conjunct. Now, the thing about it is, there's some astrologers and astrology enthusiasts that don't believe in out-of-sign aspects. I believe they are valid. I believe I can illustrate through this example that they are accurate and valid. Now, like in this case with the Sagittarius Sun at 27 degrees and the Capricorn Mercury at 3 degrees, you have a 6-degree disparity between the Sun and Mercury, and they're in different signs, but they're still in close proximity. There's still friction that exists between those planets. So I believe it's still valid, the aspect, even though they're not in the same signs. And I apply that as well to the other major aspects in astrology, the sextile, the trine, square, and opposition aspects. And I even include the inconjunct aspect in that, because The inconjunct aspect, some people see that as minor, but I do see that as a major aspect. So, um, and again, when you have the conjunction aspect, it could give mathematical ability. It may give a more retentive memory. You have, and with the Capricorn Mercury, as far as the mathematical ability, it may be applied to information technology or accounting or even like carpentry or welding if it is required to use that in in terms of as far as those fields and professions go. Now the thing too is when you look at this, okay, the sun in astrology is associated with the biological father and children. So having a Sagittarius sun, it could indicate that the biological father and at least one child, if applicable, may actually be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those characteristics. Now, Mercury is associated with siblings, cousins, and neighbors. So having a Capricorn Mercury, that could indicate that you may have some, siblings, cousins, and neighbors um, that have a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those traits. Now, it's also about the perception of these people. When you have Sagittarius sun, well, you may perceive the biological father and at least one child, again, if applicable, as being very expansive, optimistic, jovial, jocular, upbeat, exuberant, and enthusiastic, but may also see those people as being overly self-righteous, foolhardy, reckless, over-optimistic, and blunt, and even extravagant. Now, with the Capricorn Mercury, you may perceive some siblings, cousins, and neighbors as people that are very serious, structured, disciplined, consistent, reliable, responsible, but may also see them as cold, callous, undemonstrative, um, overly serious, um, people that are just rigid, intransigent and inflexible, as some examples. Now, this combination, I would say, can actually, be good in terms of higher education. As Sagittarius sun, of course, Sagittarius is the zodiac sign that is connected with higher learning, higher education, college studies. I know Capricorn is not associated with that, but Capricorn is connected with mentoring, and it's something where I could see, the person, that has this combination can do well in terms of going to college and just maybe becoming, learning to become a teacher in some subject. And also too, the Capricorn Mercury, I would say, could give more, concentration in one's thinking and studying, and more consistency. So it helps counterbalance that, that more flighty, reckless Sagittarius sun energy to some degree. And the college, if this person is enrolled or involved in college studies, higher learning, what have you, that could give more, mental concentration, I would say, as far as those studies would go, in more consistency and in more discipline and structured in those studies. The sun in astrology is connected with their actions. So, Sagittarius sun person may often, act with a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm, and also with goodwill and benevolence. And Mercury is also is connected with short journeys. So short journeys may be done, very, I'd say conservative manner, in a way where not a lot of money may be spent. Short journeys may be well planned and premeditated as well ahead of time. So this is, some ways this energy, how it may manifest anyway, people. That'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.